But anyway, the point is, yeah, when you start researching Einstein's little problem with ether, it becomes clear that there's no way in hell we're on a spinning ball. We're not on a spinning anything.
It
The
is
Earth
hard
is
to
fixed
believe that
and
we're going.
movable
How fast are we going? 18,000 miles per hour, correct?
per
We're spinning that
second.
fast.
Per second.
Is it per
Per
second?
second. Yeah, we're going billions of miles an hour. Okay,
Wait a
billions
minute.
of miles an
Wait a
hour.
minute. Wait a minute. Because when you go up into Leo, low
Well,
Earth orbit,
Google
where the
it.
space
Just
shuttle
Google it.
goes,
Oh,
and
Vaughn,
that stays stationary,
But
the
here's the
Earth,
thing. Okay,
it's
here
eighteen thousand miles an hour, I believe. Let me look it up.
if the whole solar system is careening through space, right, at billions of miles an hour. All right, the Tropic of Capricorn would have done sailed by. The Tropic of Leo would have done sailed by. Sagittarius would have done sail. All these fucking um, star things they would all been gone by now. The Big Dipper, Little Dipper, all that shit have been gone by now.
Vaughn,
Okay? That's just the truth.
here's
Because
what it
we
says.
our recorded history, we've got thousands of years of recorded history, bro. Okay,
The Earth,
so if we're careening through space at billions of miles an hour, that shit's done long gone a long fucking time
Vaughn,
ago.
think about something. Okay, it says here the Earth spins on its axis once in every 24 hours at the equator.
Right.
The Earth spins at about 1,000 miles per hour. If it went 18,000 miles per second, if we looked at a star, we'd only see it for like a millisecond because the Earth would be going around, would be rotating so
Exactly.
fast.
Exactly.
So it,
Well, I'm
but
not talking about no. I'm not talking about the Earth rotating on its fucking axis. I'm talking about the
okay,
whole solar. They're saying, John, listen to me. They're saying solar that the
yeah.
whole damn solar system is careening through space at millions, if not billions, of miles an hour. Yes,
Yeah,
they are. Google it.
107,000 kilometers an hour is how fast it goes. That's fucking moving, dude.
Well,
That's like
and that's why it's all bullshit.
how fast is
Because
the Earth
because
Um,
moving through
listen,
space?
we've got at least 4 or 5 thousand years worth of recorded history, if not more. Many people say the Sumerians, when they wrote their shit down, that was like 50, 60,000. I don't know. It's a long ass time.
You're
Long
talking
enough,
about it's
long enough
so
for every
powerful.
one of these constellations. I finally remembered the goddamn word. Every one of these fucking constellations in the sky, Leo, Sagittarius, Pisces, all that should be gone by now. Long gone.
So we're
Long fucking gone. Okay? So, no, we are not on a spinning wet ball rocket hurtling through space at billions of miles an hour. No, we are fucking not. It's a goddamn lie. It's not true. It just is
Vaughn.
not
Why do
true.
you think they would do this
Here's the thing, Solar.
conspiracy
Listen to
then?
me. Listen to me. A guy did a test. A guy actually put it to the test. He went down and he went to where the fuck? I think he actually went to the Canary Islands, believe it or not. That was
Yeah.
dangerous as fuck, but he went to the Canary Islands, set up a fucking camera, pointed the fucker straight up, and you know what happened?
What?
You want to know what happened? The fucking stars were circling over his head. The
No,
stars
wait a
were
minute.
circling
Wait a minute.
over
Wait a
his
minute.
head.
What did he do? He
He's
struck.
a fucking Canary Island, and he sets up a camera, points it up in the sky, and the fucking shit's circling over his goddamn head.
I don't know what you mean by that.
Think about it, bro. If
You
we're on
mean
a
it's doing a
ball,
full
if we're, wait a,
rotation?
no, think about it. If we're on a ball, they wouldn't be circling over our fucking head. No, they would not.
If you're at the poles, it might because you're rotating.
No, you're not
Poles are
getting
different.
this. No, you're not listening. Let me try to
Your rotation is different.
let me help you out again. He's in the Canary Islands. He's not at the North Pole or the South Pole. He's at the Canary Islands,
Canary
in the
Islands.
middle of the fucking earth, and the shit is circling over his head. And the
The
reason why,
stars are circling around his head, so he can see them doing a full 360. Is what you're saying?
yeah, he let the camera run for a full 24 hours. Yeah.
Where can I see this video at?
Don't know. You should be able to find it, hopefully.
Because if he
If it
took
hasn't
a
been taken
camera
down,
video,
if the government hasn't taken it down, because the government loves to take this shit down. They don't want you knowing about a flat Earth. But here's the thing: why were they circling over his head at Canary Island?
well, hang on a minute here.
They should circle. No, they should circle at the North Pole or the South Pole, not at Canary Island.
I was going to say, if you're at the North Pole and the South Pole,
supposedly,
your spin is so much different than if you're way over here in Pennsylvania or Kentucky, where it's going to go around like this. At like the North Pole and the South Pole, your spin is only like that, but I don't know where
There's
the
no
Canary
way
Islands
they would be spinning over your head in a circle at the Canary Islands. No way, because
I'm
it's
gonna
in the
type
middle of the goddamn Atlantic, or is that Pacific? Anyway, listen to me.
Uh-huh.
The only time that these stars should be circling over your head is if you're at the North Pole or the South Pole. If you're at the equator or you're out in the ocean at the Canary Islands, which is near the equator, they shouldn't be circling straight over your head.
It's called Star Trails at the Equator. Is what we're looking for,
They're
but
not
it's
supposed to
actually
be.
called Star Trails at the Canary Islands. I found some of it.
Oh, you did find it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there should be plenty of pictures. There should be plenty of pictures. They
Traveling
took pictures. You got, and you can see
problem.
the stars circling right over the head, man. Right overhead.
Yeah, because it's the way you got to type it in is Star Trailing, Star Trails, which I've never heard of before. Wow, they do show at the equator how we just said it's about the size of a basketball, Vaughn. The star spins around. That's it. That's really amazing there.
Let me find the picture. Hold on.
But if it does it at the Canary Islands, I don't know. That would be that would be world changing, man.
No shit, Sherlock.
They're
No
like in the
shit.
South
We're on a
Pacific.
flat Earth. We
Ain't
have to be.
ain't
Because
the
if we were
Canary
on a
Islands-
ball, okay, look, if we're on a ball and you're at the Canary Islands, the stars would
Yeah.
all be going in a straight line that fucking way. They wouldn't be
Right.
circling, they would be going in a straight line that way. Because we're on a spinning ball, right?
Right.
Well, they weren't doing that. They were circling overhead, which means
Here's
we're not on a spinning ball.
here's what I'm trying to figure out where the Canary Islands even fucking are. I'm thinking they're down by the Fiji Islands in the South Pacific, but I could be wrong.
Well, maybe it was Fiji. It was Canary, Fiji. It was one of them fucking islands out in the Pacific or Atlantic.
It has to
It
be
wasn't, but it
way
wasn't
out.
at the North Pole or the South Pole, which is where you would see them circling over your head, supposedly.
Yeah. Just type in Star Trails that prove the Earth is flat.
Yeah, but that's
There's
not what
all
I'm
this
after
stuff
either.
on here about how dangerous the Canary Islands are and how you're supposed to stay away from
You're
the
supposed to stay
Canary
the
Islands.
fuck away from them. Yeah, exactly.
There's all these
They are
mountains and shit. I mean, I thought it was like a beautiful tropical oasis. It's right on the equator, man. It's real close to the equator, so that's a perfect place if it's going to demonstrate your flat Earth theory. So let's
there
see
you
it.
go. There it is, circling
Let's see it.
overhead.
Hold on, let me
Circling
see.
overhead. They're not supposed to be circling overhead at the equator. They're supposed to be circling overhead at the North Pole or the South Pole, if the ball Earth theory is to be believed, which it is not, because it's bullshit. Like I said, they screwed the pooch when they started saying the whole damn solar system is careening through space at billions of miles an hour. Because when they said that shit, that means, boom, there went Sagittarius. Yeah. Boom, there went Cancer. There went Pisces. There went all the constellations. They're all gone.
You can see that's a fucking that's really fucking weird how that
well, it's time lapsed, okay? It's time.
Yeah, but I still don't understand how you could even get stars to do that small circle at the Canary Islands. It makes no sense.
Because
it should never be able to happen.
Because we're on a flat Earth. We're not on a ball.
Well, no, let me think about this
on
for
a fucking ball.
There's got to be an explanation for it.
Yeah, there is. It's because we're on a flat Earth. And everything circles over our fucking head. Just like the sun circles over our head. Just like the moon circles over our head. The stars also circle. See, a lot of people they have a misconception. Well, hold on. They've got a misconception of size, okay? They're thinking, when they think about this shit, they think way too small. That's where they fuck up. Okay? Mm-hmm. They think way too small. Okay? They've got it in their mind that, it's only so big. And it's like, well, wait a minute. If it's only so big, how's the moon up there circling over her head? And how's the sun doing? Dude, you're talking about humongous distance. Okay. Yeah. You're not talking about, a few thousand feet in the air. Okay. We're talking about humongous distances. Okay.
Sure.
And see, that's where they fuck up. Okay. That's where they mess it. Because they got it in their mind that it's just a certain size. And no, we're talking about a huge expanse of sky and a huge expanse of land in all directions too, by the way. But like I said, if we were on a ball and we're rotating around our axis and we're also rotating around the sun, plus the whole damn solar system is careening through space at billions of miles an hour, we wouldn't see the same stars in our sky every night like we do. When
Okay,
I
let me
go
ask,
out at night, I see the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper every night.
why for this conspiracy? Why? It's the biggest conspiracy in the world because obviously the entire world is in on it. Every country has a space program at this point. Any country can launch a drone up into space. Why? Why the conspiracy for this across the entire world?
Well, one of the things
And
is that
why doesn't anyone break the conspiracy? Why hasn't India come out with their space program yet and said, "Look, the United States is a
because they're
bunch of
making
fucking
billions of
liars"?
dollars. That's why.
Is that are they
I mean,
blackmailing
do
the
you think
United
you think
States?
why do you wait a minute? Why do you think Elon Musk got into the space industry? Because it's billions of dollars. You make shit tons of money.
Right,
You
but
make
is it
money off
blackmail
that shit.
money? Do these countries say, "Hey, listen,
No, they're
United
making so
States,
much fucking
we're gonna
money.
fucking tell on you about your fake moon
No, they're not
program and
either because they're
everything,"
making way
unless you
too
pay
much
us.
fucking. No, they're not going to tell anybody because they're making way too much fucking money. They're not
How are
going
they
to tell
making
anybody.
money off the conspiracy unless they're
They're
blackmailing
making money
somebody?
by putting by claiming they're claiming to fly. They're all
Yeah,
making
but see,
shit tons of money.
NASA contracts Bezos to fly his. NASA contracts Elon Musk to fly his rocket.
They're
NASA
they're they're
contracts these people.
they're
They don't
making
fly their
so
own shit
much fucking
anymore.
money. They're
Isn't that
making so
crazy?
much fucking money. They don't care. They
They
don't
don't have
care.
to insure anything or nothing. It's all out of your hands.
They it's all yeah, it's a big ass lie, but they're making so much money they don't care. So I mean, they're not gonna squeal. Fuck no, they're making too much money. But there's no way in hell them stars is going to circle like that down by the equator if we're on a spinning ball. Because if we're on a spinning ball, we're spinning on an axis. And if we're spinning on an axis, that means we're at the North Pole or the South Pole to get that picture,
Well,
not at
all
the
you got to
damn
do is,
equator.
I can look at any fixed point in the sky and come up with that same
That's
portion
my
there.
whole point, Solar. Because we're on a flat plane, I can go anywhere and I'll get that same fucking look when I look up at the sky. Because why? Because we're not on a fucking ball. That's
No,
the
there's
whole
only
damn
one
point.
spot that'll produce that spot there.
No,
That's fucking where it's a
any
very
spot will
tight
produce.
circle.
No,
No, because if
no,
I look
no,
off over
no,
here to the
no, no,
left like
no, no,
this,
no,
if
no,
I'm
no,
on the
no.
side of the
No,
earth and
no,
I look
no,
off
no,
over here
no,
to the
no,
left,
no,
it's
no, no,
impossible. I
no,
have
no.
to look towards
No,
the
no,
center.
no, 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 no.
Bullshit.
Any spot,
I
I
know
can
I'm
go
right.
anywhere in the earth. I can go anywhere in the earth, set up my camera, point it at the fucking sky, and I'm gonna get one of them pictures
Then
because
how comes if I
I'll
go
put
out
it
in the
on a time
sky,
lapse.
hang on a minute, and the Big Dipper's up here on the left side when it first starts out at 7 or 8 o'clock at night, then by let's say 2 o'clock in the morning, it's the whole way over here on the west side
Yes,
of the
because
fucking,
once
and
again,
then at fucking 4 o'clock in the morning, it's down here in the southeast,
once
and then it comes
again,
around and does a full fucking circle, and then it's off uh, compared to where it was the night before. And then it's off again. That's why astrologists and shit look at the fucking sky and look at where you were when you were born and all this shit and where you were compared to space and everything. I'm telling you, if your theory was right, Vaughn, these stars would never change position ever.
they
How would they ever
rotate.
change position?
They
You would never
rotate.
have seasons. The
They
seasons
wrote
change. The
what are you going to
stars
say that
change.
okay, so the sun and the moon don't rotate either? I
The
mean, come on.
sun, the Earth rotates around the sun in a
No, it
365-day
does not.
cycle,
Okay, see what you got to understand to get back to your
and
question.
that's why it gets
Let's
cold.
get back to your question. Your question was why the fuck would they pull a psyop this
Let
big?
me grab my
I'm going to
drink real
explain
quick.
it to you. I'm going to explain it to you.
See, I
This
want to
whole
hear.
bullshit with the fucking ball earth was started by an atheist, a Greek atheist at that, by the name of Helios. Or no, by one of Helios's. Well, no, let me rephrase that.
Helios
He
actually
was not
means
an
sun.
atheist. He was not an atheist. He was a blasphemer in their religion. What he done was he come up he followed Helios and claimed that Helios says that we're living on a fucking spinning ball rocket. Okay, and so what does this do? What this does, it wouldn't affect the atheists because they're lost any fucking way.
Wait a
But
minute, how
it
far
would
is this
affect,
back?
but
You're
it, but
talking
it,
about ancient biblical shit,
but
right?
but it would affect every theist because every theist that believes in the ball is giving loyalty and fealty to Helios, a Roman god. So what happens is let's say you're a Christian, you die, you go to the pearly gates. St. Peter's standing there. He said, "Nope, you're not getting in." They're like, "What?" It's like, "No, you're not getting in." It's like, "Why?" Because you gave loyalty and fealty to a false god. You're not getting into heaven. See you, bye. And boom, down you go.
Okay, I don't understand what has anything to do with this. The
It
Earth.
has everything to do with it. Because they're not only killing you in this life, they're also prohibiting you from living in the life to come. You get
Okay, well,
it?
let's talk about
It's a 1-2
science and
punch.
technology for a second, Vaughn. In
Yeah, let's do that.
1960s, we had something called the SR-71 Blackbird.
That's true.
Prior to that, we had the A-12, which
Designed by a
was
15-year-old boy, by the way.
prior to that was the A-12, which was the Blackbird. It just didn't have a capacity to take photographs the way the SR-71 Blackbird did, and it didn't. Some of them didn't have back seats. So the SR-71 Blackbird in the late 60s was able to fly into the upper atmosphere at 80, 90,000 feet. Has a classified speed. We think that speed's somewhere. We used to think it was 3,500 miles an hour, but we're finding out now it's more like 5,000. Okay, so when that Blackbird, Vaughn, would go up 85,000 feet or so, those guys were so high up above the Earth that they were literally, only about 20,000 feet from being in low Earth orbit from just rotating around just like the space shuttle
And
would.
not one document from the Blackbird flights mentions having to correct for the curvature of the Earth. Not one document. Not one. How do you explain that?
There's still just enough gravity at that point for it to go around the
You're not
Earth.
getting what I'm saying. You're not getting what I'm saying. You're not getting what I'm saying. If you're that fucking high up, you're going to have to constantly be nosing the plane down to keep it level with the fucking
No, you
ball
don't,
Earth.
because the Earth's 25,000 miles round, and you're
Well,
only
my
going 4 or
point, my
5,000
point
miles
is,
an hour.
okay,
So
well,
you
hold
don't have to
on.
constantly adjust it. You only have to probably put a little bit of tilt in the wheel. And
Tilt in the
remember,
wheel.
the higher you go, the thinner the atmosphere is, so you're not
Tilt in
fighting
the
the
wheel.
sky. You probably only got to tilt the wheel just a little bit, and you're perfectly
Tilt the wheel.
going with that 25,000 miles round Earth.
Solar. You just said the Blackbird's going 5,000 miles an hour.
In the atmosphere, yeah, it's incredible.
Okay, all right. So if
3,500
it's going 5,000 miles an hour, you
Yep.
will have to keep nosing that plane down every 5 seconds, or
No,
you will go straight on out into fucking space, bro.
no, Vaughn, because here's
Yes, you
why. The
would.
Earth is
If you're
25,000 miles round,
you're
okay? At
still not getting
5,000
it.
miles an hour,
You're
it's,
still not
listen,
getting it.
Vaughn, in math, 5,000 miles an hour, it's going to take 5 hours for you to go completely around the Earth. 5 hours,
And in
okay?
that 5 hours, you will still have to keep adjusting the damn nose down to keep from careening out into space.
Not if
It's just
you
like lasers.
adjust the nose perfectly enough to do a nice, huge circle.
But there's no record of it anywhere.
Vaughn, if
Isn't
I
that
get in the
amazing?
car,
You say it's a ball. Okay.
it's
Fair
gotta
enough. So let's say it's a ball.
be. The conspiracy
All
is
right.
way too big.
When you have an object flying at 5,000 fucking miles an hour, that's fast as fuck. All right. So it's flying at 5,000 miles an hour. If you do not nose down that fucking plane every 5 minutes, you will go out into space. Not maybe, not kind of. You will be in fucking orbit for real, because you're traveling at such a high rate of speed that if you don't nose that plane down every 5 minutes, you will be out in space. Okay. The same thing with lasers. Okay. When you use a laser, what do they tell you? They say never point it up at the sky. Why? Because it's gonna keep going.
Well, you can
And
blind
that
pilots.
laser is going to keep going, because why? Because
You can blind pilots.
if we're on a ball, like they say, that laser's going to go right out into space. It's gonna hit some big bad son of a bitch that hates our guts, and they're going to come down here and kick our ass. Okay, you don't point the lasers up. There is no record anywhere of any pilot nosing down that goddamn Blackbird to keep it level with the fucking ball. Nowhere.
How
It's
do you know
nowhere.
how do you
There
know
is
that
no
there's no
document.
record?
There is no
Where'd you
document.
Hold on a minute here.
There
Where'd
is no
you get this
document.
thing? Where'd you get this thing about there's no records
There
of
is
the
no
SR-71
document.
pilots
There is
adjusting
no
flight.
document
Where'd you get
anywhere.
that at? No, wait a minute, though. Where'd you get that at?
There is no document anywhere
How do you know
from a
that?
Blackbird pilot
How do you
saying
know
that they
that?
have to keep the nose constantly nosing down. There's no
Vaughn,
document
they have
anywhere.
never really declassified how the ship works and everything about the ship and how
No,
it
but fly
works and everything.
logs aren't top
But hang on
secret.
a minute
Not
here. How do
anymore.
you
It's
know
been
this?
decommissioned.
How do you know this thing about the pilots and that there's nothing about
Because
it
regular
showing up
planes are the
correctly?
same damn way. You
What,
think when I get up, if I get up in a Cessna, okay, and I fly, let's say, okay,
did you
let's
ever
say
hear
I fly,
autopilot?
let's say
Autopilot,
I get in a Cessna,
autocorrection.
let's say I get in a Cessna and I fly from LA to New York. Am I going to have to keep nosing the fucking plane down every 5 minutes? No, I'm not.
It's because you're flying so low you don't have to worry about overshooting the fucking atmosphere. You would burn up in a fucking SR-71 if you're doing what you're saying you would do. If you fly too far out into space,
Okay,
you would burn up.
you have to understand what the ballers are claiming. Okay, the ballers are claiming that every 8 feet you have to adjust for curvature. Okay, every 8 feet you have to adjust for curvature.
That's when they were at the
They
ocean
say
with that
well,
laser.
they're
I
saying
saw that.
okay.
Exactly what you're talking about.
The reason they say that is because they say because if you're standing here and you want to see fucking Chicago, you won't be able to see Chicago because every 8 foot it keeps dipping down, dipping down, dipping down.
And guess what, Vaughn? That thing you're talking about, that test they did, the fuckers failed. The flat earthers failed. You know that, right?
No,
And
I do
that
not
caused
know
a
that.
lot of flat earthers to change their mind. It's actually every 12 feet, not every 8 feet. And they're saying every 8 feet, if you stick a laser out there, you've got to take the laser and then point it down a little bit, point it down a little bit,
No, you
point it down
don't.
a little bit, point it
No,
down a
you
little
don't.
bit,
No,
or
you
it
don't.
shoots straight up, straight
You
out
can't,
that
well,
way.
first of all, you can't. First of all, you can't angle a laser because the laser is perfectly straight. That's
Right.
number one. Number two, the U.S. Navy laser tests prove we are on a flat Earth. They hit a target miles away with a laser. How are they going to see the target, let alone hit it with a laser?
Can you prove that to me that
Well,
they
yeah, I can give you the damn test. You
the
can read it
Navy
for
did this
yourself.
test? And also, I want to see
Why
that.
do you want to believe a bunch of fucking NASA liars anyway? Why?
Well, Vaughn, listen, man. With
Why do you want to believe NASA
satellites and
who is
everything depend on.
notorious for lying?
But hold on a
They're
minute here, Vaughn.
notorious for lying.
The
And not only
biggest
that, they're a bunch
problem,
of fucking Nazis.
Vaughn. Hang on a
Why
minute
would you
here.
want to defend them?
What about satellite technology? Satellites operate off the rotation of the fucking Earth. How would satellites work if a flat Earth system was in place?
The same way it does on a fucking ball. They sit up there and they spin around and around and around and around. God damn, I just got through telling you, everything is over our head spinning. It spins over our head. That's how it works. That's how it's always worked for eons. And because it's such a large area, it gives the appearance of going over the horizon, giving the illusion of a ball. But we are not on a ball.
Hang on
Because
a minute
if you zoom in on that object that's way the fuck out there, guess what? When you zoom in on it, you'll zoom right in on and see it again. It's
if
not
the Earth
really
was
gone.
flat, there would be no need for satellites. And here's why. I could go up on a hill 500 feet near where I live at. And let's say they put a building up 500 feet, so I'm 1,000 feet in the air, right?
Right.
Theoretically, Vaughn, if the Earth is flat, I should be able to go 1,000 feet in the air. And if I could see as far as where you live at, I could send a straight signal the whole way to where you live and hit a satellite on that 1,000-foot tall building in your city without ever needing a satellite. You would just need some posts that go up in the air 1,000 feet here, 1,000 feet there. And theoretically, Vaughn, I should be able to take a set of fucking binoculars or something that are extremely strong and see hundreds and hundreds of miles away until the ocular lens doesn't work anymore. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I'm sorry, but we're on a flat Earth.
I should be able to see Kentucky from here if I go up in the air high enough if the Earth is flat.
We are not on a ball. And by the way, you're a blasphemer for thinking that we are because you're giving loyalty and fealty to a Greek god named Helios. Every time you acknowledge we're on a ball, you're giving loyalty and fealty to a Greek god named Helios. That's why they did this shit. So that when you get to the pearly gates or summer fields for us pagans, what happens? Oh, you're denied because you blasphemed the true gods.
The
You
thing is,
don't
the
get
conspiracy
to
would be too
paradise.
big.
You don't get to
Ron.
enjoy the feast of enlightenment and what have
Well,
you.
let me ask you this. Is there one country that's come out and said, hey, look, the Earth's flat and the United States is
No,
lying?
because they're making too much fucking money. I told you this 1,000 times. They're
I don't
making
see how they
shit
make
tons of
money
money,
off of this.
billions and billions of dollars. They're not going to give that up. No fucking way.
I don't see where the billions come from for saying lying
You
about the
don't
Earth
see
being
where the billions come from. Just one of them fucking rockets is billions of dollars. Where are you getting? You don't see it coming. Where it comes from?